So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not even like that screwed. When we started,
of course we did. You're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing.
Here it is, the video of the angry father who confronts Elizabeth Warren about her debt forgiveness plan to just write off a bunch of student debt. In Iowa, he goes up to her after one of her talks and tells her what he thinks. And in this video, we're going to watch that short clip, and then I'm going to come on and we're going to break down what actually happened so you can see the subcommunication between the two to give you a little insight on what was really going on in the interaction rather than just what you see on the surface. So let's roll this clip, and then I'll hop back on and we'll analyze.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not even like that screwed. When we started,
of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
See, look right here. You see her correcting her shirt. That's a sign of nerves because she understood right at that point, am I going to get my money back? This is going to be confrontational, right? She started out, God bless you, and now she just feels those nerves. It's a normal human reaction, but that's a telling subcommunication from her that she understands now this isn't going to be a friendly confrontation.
So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not even like that screwed. When we started,
of course we did.
So now one thing you can tell here in this, in Warren's defense, is this guy didn't come for an open dialogue. He didn't want to hear her thoughts on how maybe his thoughts weren't right. He just continually talks over her and doesn't give her a chance to talk. No matter what your sides are on this, it's just important that you understand.
My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
Okay, and then he takes it to another step. So basically, you heard what he said, but just to kind of dumb it really down, he's saying, this is an easy policy to take advantage of. The irresponsible people are getting their debt paid off, where he worked hard, he didn't buy a car, he was judicious with his expenses, so his kid didn't have any debt. Now all that was for naught because it's all going to be forgiven. Anyway, this is a big argument of this policy. I think a couple of the candidates on the Democratic side, I think it's Sanders and Warren, are talking about writing off debt. But anyway, he comes out to do this. So now, what she does, regardless of your stance on the policy, from this channel, I'm here to break down the social interaction. So I'm not going to say who I think is on the right side, but I just want to see the social subcommunication between this. So watch Warren here. One thing that she does well is she knows this guy is angry, and she can tell now as he continually talks over her that he's just there to prove a point, not have a dialogue. So a lot of people, and I would ask you not to make the mistake, don't just try to talk over people who don't even want a dialogue. I have a whole nother video. I'll put a link here to the video where I'll teach you what to do if, like at the workplace, if someone continually talks over you. But if someone isn't even trying to have a dialogue, the move is not to talk over them. It is just to back off and have them talk and leave the interaction. This is a strange situation that we're not in, where we're speaking. People come up to us afterwards. We can't exactly just leave. But notice how she just doesn't really talk or respond once he continually bulldozes her.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
And then he walks off. So what can we take from this? Well, number one, writing off student debt in the past is a hot button issue, and it should be, right? It's an emotional topic for people who, like this guy, worked very hard and got their ducks in a row so their kids wouldn't have any debt. The whole time seeing their friend, act irresponsible, was like the squirrel that stored the nuts, and his friend didn't store nuts, and then all of a sudden, when the winter rolls around, they're evenly distributing the nuts, right? It makes sense that somebody who stored the nuts would be angry about that. I'm not saying that's the right side, but you can understand the argument from his side. Now, what I think this guy could have done if he wanted to be more effective is at least give her a little chance to talk, and then just walking off after his last piece, not giving her any chance to respond. That's not a move of authority. That's a move of, well, I'm not really ready for discussion. So maybe this guy was successful in proving his point, and just that he wanted that to be heard. It doesn't look like there's that many cameras there. Like this camera, you can see this is the best footage we have, and it's from probably 10 feet back. So I don't think it was like he was trying to bombard her in front of the cameras. I think he really did just want to make his point to her because he was so emotionally charged up about it. And I think he was effective in telling his story. We always talk about how you can work in a story. It really draws people in emotionally and it really gets them to pay attention to what you're saying. So he did a nice story, told about his example, but I would have encouraged him to give her a chance to talk and look a little bit more civil, because even when you show emotion, you want it to be controlled emotion. When emotion gets out of control, it shows weakness on your side. So if he could have still shown some of that heightened emotion, but then be cool about it, like, just be able to back off and stand there and not run away at the end of the conversation or at the end of the rant, I think that would have boosted the value of what he did. Because at the end of this, people watching it, well, people on Warren's side are going to be like, who is that blowhard dude? And people on against Warren are going to be like, that's a very valid point, right? It doesn't matter what side you're on. I think that he could have I think he did some things good, and I think he could have improved the things that I talked about before. Now, if somebody talks over you repeatedly in an environment that you have to be in them with, for instance, a friend, a family member, someone at work, you can't allow them to continually talk over you. You have to learn how to stand up for yourself. There's 3 very simple ways that you can do this. I've got another YouTube video, and click on right here and I'll walk you through those 3 ways. So next time someone tries to talk over you, you can stand up for yourself, put them in their place, and then in lieu, that will prevent them from trying to talk over you again because they know you can stand up for yourself. So click right here and I'll talk to you there now.